Right, that's correct, Tammy. Like you said, if from the menu on LinkedIn, if you do select groups, it gives you a drop-down menu, and a lot of the time that I've found some really great resources or connections is simply by selecting groups you may like. And if you select that tab, then you're directed to probably a number of groups in your local area, and like Tammy said, even potential job-seeking clubs. And from once you get to that page, it literally allows you to search groups by keywords. So let's say you're a CFO, and there's actually a CFO network that's nationwide you can participate in. It's got, I think like 17 or 20,000 plus members. And the great thing about these groups, I think it's important to participate in discussion, but the really cool thing is a lot of people will post positions from their company that are in these groups, and they will say, I have an immediate need for a new CFO with our company. Who do you know? Or are you interested? And that's the big one there, and it's a big, big area that is another hidden portion of the job market that people just don't think about on LinkedIn. Yes, a lot of people, everybody goes to jobs, the jobs menu title. But if you're participating in some of these groups and actually following them or getting a weekly digest email of the discussion, then you're going to get some really great leads and heads up on potential opportunities that you may have not even considered.
Why don't you spend a moment to talk about how to set up your email in LinkedIn for the groups?
Oh, sure. Well,
basis, because that's important to note.
Right. Well, it's a really good point to note, Tammy, because a number of these groups in LinkedIn, most have discussions on a daily basis. And, it's basically kind of just an online discussion thread. And, unless you want to go insane, you could request, could request a daily digest or a daily update of all the discussion. I find it's a little maddening, and quite frankly, a weekly update does just fine, and you get all the relevant information. So basically what you want to do in order to change your group discussion update status, you'll want to go up to the very top right of your LinkedIn profile, which there'll be a little, basically it's your name, which is, for example, mine, William Gladhart, and then I would select Settings, which is a drop-down menu under my name. And when I do that, it directs me to a page which has several different tabs on it, such as groups, companies, and applications. And then what you'll want to do is go to, now let me make sure I'm telling you the right thing here. You'll want to go to the select the Groups, Companies, and Applications tab, and then the next menu item that you will see is you can set the frequency of the group digest emails. And so every group you belong to will pop up in a fly-up, kind of a pop-up window, and then you can have the opportunity to select, do you want a daily digest email, do you want a weekly digest email, or do you want no email from that discussion group? And again,
so if you do it by group, it's not a global setting. You can actually decide that for a specific job function or a specific industry you want it daily, and the others you want it. Okay.
Right. For example, like you mentioned, Tammy, like a job seekers club who posts opportunities and discussion about events regularly. Well, I think that makes sense to have on a daily digest basis. Now, if it's, for example, like on my profile, Kansas City IT professionals, well, there's a lot of discussion about articles and, different things that are going on. And, I can catch up on a weekly basis when I have time. And my email's not getting just blasted every day by up to 20 different group emails and digests. And I'm not going, oh, my gosh, I don't have time to read this. So, I get to pick and choose, and then it becomes at my leisure versus, an immediate need when an email pops up.
Right. And I would say with job clubs, go ahead and make them at least daily because, for instance, with new landings, just earlier this week, they had a posting out there saying, hey, I need a high-level accounting manager, salary around $75,000, who's available? Boom, they got tons, just tons.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the only people that saw that are the people that belong to that group. So it is a good idea to get in with these groups so that you do get daily emails. But it sounds like everything
Absolutely.
else, just get a weekly digest, and you don't have to worry about looking through, like you said, 20 or 30 different emails a day.
Right,
okay.
right.
And then just really quickly, I wanted to make a mention on your honors and awards at the very bottom. Some people don't feel like the awards that they get, maybe it's a on-the-spot cash award of $100. Well, you don't have to put, cash award, but if it's an on-the-spot award that is company-wide, that you get, put that on there. Or anything that you don't think might be a big deal, any kind of honor or award or any kind of white paper that you've published, any article that you've put out there, anything that you would want to show that's in addition to your experience, go ahead and put it on there. Anything that will set you apart. That's really what it's about, is setting you apart and making it robust. And that really, it just adds to the whole idea of you being a top performer. Now, I do want to make a note, because I do have some clients that are conducting a confidential search, and they do ask me, well, how do I put together a LinkedIn profile? And actually, my company, when you work with me, we put together the LinkedIn profile with you and for you, and really make that very robust and kind of do everything for you. But if you have a confidential search, people ask me, well, how do you put a LinkedIn profile together with a confidential search if you don't want your boss or your employers or your associates to know that you're looking? So I can tell you that from a content standpoint, you can still make it very compelling. If you look up at the summary for Will, those first two paragraphs, that's a very compelling value proposition for them, for anybody looking at it. But that call to action that I mentioned earlier, if your company is positioned for growth, blah, 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 take that off. So you're not telling people to call you on that. You just have a really great LinkedIn profile. Now, I did want to take a moment, and Will, you can walk us through how to uncheck the activity broadcast or how to discreetly change settings on your profile, still being able to find jobs on LinkedIn, but not making it so that everybody you're connected with sees all of these changes that you're making on LinkedIn, right?
Right. And I'm really glad you addressed this, Tammy, because a number of my contacts or employed friends who are seeking to transition jobs or in a six-figure position have asked me, well, how do I still use LinkedIn, improve my profile, and let people know that you're job seeking, but I don't want my boss, who I'm connected to on LinkedIn, or my fellow employees, direct reports, what have you, to have any idea what it is that I'm doing. So, I'm really glad we're talking about it. Basically, if you go again, here's how to change your settings. If you go to your settings again, which is your name, and then under that there's a drop-down menu that's called Settings, and that takes you to a page that lists a little, basically breakout box of your profile, email preferences, groups, companies, and applications, and just general information about your account. So over on the left-hand side of the page, there's a little kind of person icon that says Profile. And if you select that, basically there's a section that comes out that says Privacy Controls. And basically what you want to do is go to turn on and off your activity broadcasts. So you're going to uncheck the box that says let people know when you change your profile, make recommendations, or follow companies. Then the second thing that you're going to do is select people that can see your activity feed. Now, if you have, basically this activity feed is when you change your profile, make connections, and you're going to want to select, some of you may have your profile set on everyone can see that, or just your network or connections, but you're going to want to select that to only you. So whenever you make changes to your profile, only you are going to see those changes. And also, you want to note, and this is a common mistake I find people make, there's a third menu item that says select what others see when you're viewed as their profile. And you're going to want to go into that menu and select that box, and basically it gives you three options. You can either have your name and headline, an anonymous profile or totally anonymous. You still want to have your profile as your name and headline and have that be public. A lot of people make the mistake of choosing an anonymous profile and title, which basically it doesn't give you any information. It may just say, it doesn't give my name, but it may say someone from Kansas City who's an entrepreneur in marketing. And that's not, so basically it eliminates the opportunity for companies to do keyword searches on you and also find you via LinkedIn. So it's a way to protect yourself, but also a way to, well, keep yourself still being found.
Yeah.
Any extra comments on that, Tammy?
Just that, just a reminder that if you are openly looking for a job, don't change your profile settings because you do want people to see that you've updated your experience, that you've updated your skills. It's another way to keep you visible. So the only time that you would change the settings on your profile to be kind of covert when you're making those changes to your profile would be if you're conducting a confidential search.
Yes.
But it's really good information. That's really good information. I want to take a moment to talk about recommendations. We've got so much information to cover, so I'd like to give at least 5 minutes on Q&A, but we do have a good 15 minutes worth of content left to provide. On recommendations, I really recommend that you get 4 to 6 recommendations minimum if you're looking for a six-figure position. You've really got to show yourself as a top performer. If you know anything, again, about direct marketing, in a sales page, testimonials are absolutely essential. You cannot have a sales page without testimonials. It's social proof, it's third-party proof, and they're very, very powerful. So there's always been a problem with how do you get people to give you a LinkedIn recommendation, because you can ask for it, but sometimes, I mean, if you've ever been asked for a LinkedIn recommendation for somebody else, you know that it's kind of intimidating that you're sitting there on LinkedIn and you're wondering, what am I going to say? And I'm broadcasting this to the world, and I really don't know what to put down.